YouTube, what's up? What's up going on, everybody? My name's Chaotic BPR. With me, my co-host tonight, half a dozen. What's going on, my man?
What up, though? YouTube, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, what's
Chilling,
what's what's the title of tonight's show?
man. We focusing on this Delta app that just came out for Apple, man. All the Apple devices, you know.
That's right. But on tonight's show, it's Yo Retro. Thank y'all so much for coming, man. Good to see everybody coming in. We got Jason Little Alien already here, hanging out in the chat. Hey, Jason, what's going on with YouTube? Something's going on with it. It says currently not. Arcades Anonymous YouTube's not working. That's something odd going on. Hey, fill me in on more on that going on. But hey, half dozen, man. What's been going on with you this week? What's eating at your mind right now?
Man, it's eating at my heart and soul, man. Let's wait for this attack from Mars, man, from Mad Games, bro. The whole like pre-order was kind of like a mess. I say it's a little messy a messy launch or whatever you want to call it. I can't even really call it a launch because it's not their first product launch, in this line. So, but
Yeah,
it was kind of confusing, man. Like I didn't know. I guess we were getting two payment links, and I didn't know that. Other people in the community knew it, but I didn't know it.
yeah. So like we got confusion on the Facebook groups where they were like, "Hey, I got my payment info, payment email is a lot cheaper than I thought it was gonna be," and they're like, "No, you're gonna get a second email." I'm like, "Crap, okay." Figured something was up. So I ended up getting a second email and everything for the SSF kit. But then it turns out it was more expensive than it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
And
then we end up paying more, and you're like, "Yo, they owe us some money." I'm
yeah,
like, "Whoa!" I had to look at my receipt. Like, yeah, they do.
so they responded to my email when it came to, hey, man, the SSF kit was a lot more expensive than y'all said it was going to be. And they replied back with me with saying, hey, just send me a receipt of send me a receipt of what you paid so that we can fix it and to the correct amount. So they did say they were going to take care of me. They responded late Friday afternoon, so I'm pretty sure they were gone for the weekend. So hopefully I'll hear something else tomorrow. And either give me my money back or at least give me store credit so I can start buying some packs.
It's kind of funny that they need a receipt like they don't already have the receipt. Like, I don't know, it's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you need to see proof of your, I guess, your
You need,
order number and how much you paid.
which they
So
have. They could verify by your email. I mean, but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So I guess they didn't want to do that much work. They wanted me to do the work. Marine 50 is in the house as well as Ralphie. Ralphie is in the house as well. Good to see you guys, man. All right, so we got some people trickling in a little bit late.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason. They give you the special pricing and then they forget it even happened. So yeah,
Right.
I was like, something's not right, man. I know I'm supposed to not pay this much, and then yeah, it turns out other people on Facebook said, yeah, you're definitely not supposed to pay that much. So good stuff. All right, man. So I kind of jumped the gun and said, "Hey, everybody, welcome to Yo Retro Show, and let's find out who's in the chat." I've already started shouting out people, but it's good to see y'all, man. Let's go ahead and get into our first real topic. Couple minor news things happened this week. Um, that's gonna be this guy here, the good old
Yeah.
Couchcade.
This like the deal of the week. We had the Simpsons 2 weeks ago. So right now, a lot of people aren't interested in this, but it's more than 50% off. The manufacturer retail suggested price or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah.
from 170 down to 90, but some people were, when I posted this in the groups, they were like, it's not even worth that, bro. Like, so
Honestly, I was actually considering this because I thought it was too expensive, but I was considering this for my mom because
yeah.
she could easily just lay in her bed or sit up in her bed, have the HDMI cable hooked all the way up to her TV, and she could play while sitting down. That's what the purpose of this thing is.
Mhm.
Um, but Target had that countercade at Walmart. I think I got it for $79.99 after a $20 coupon I got it for her for Christmas, so I just got her the Mrs. Pac-Man countercade instead.
I think this is something it'd be cool, like to have in an RV or something like that. If you go camping, something for the kids. But I definitely don't think it's worth more than 100. So if y'all want this right now, it's down to $90 at GameStop. You could click the link in the video description, or y'all could just go to GameStop and search Couchcade, Pac-Man Couchcade, and pick this up for 90.
And then also I want to piggyback on that as well. If anybody's interested in another niche product from Arcade One Up, they also have the Pac-Man Projector Cade at Walmart down to
Mhm.
202 instead of being 399, 499, or 249.
Yeah, that was actually fun. We played that in Cleveland together.
Yeah, yeah. We had that in the Airbnb when we all went to Cleveland. We all came over to the Arcades Anonymous's Airbnb, and we actually played that in the house. It's raw. It's actually a lot of fun, and there's games that are on there that are not on any other Pac-Mans I know of.
Yeah, yeah. It's a neat device, and we didn't get to see how big the projector, like how big the image could go, you
Yeah,
know.
with yeah, without like getting like
But
fuzzy
it
or whatever.
but it worked really well, on that big wall inside the Airbnb. So, I thought it was cool, bro. I
Yeah,
thought
I
it was
mean,
fun.
there was like what 10 of us in there at the time, and we were just all taking turns playing and stuff. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool for that kind of situation. It was perfect for. It was
Yeah,
actually better than crowding around a three-quarter scale arcade, you know what I mean, in that situation.
yeah. Some of the guys actually talked about when they want to go to Chicago later this year, they were going to bring it again. So that's a good shot, man.
What up, Grizzly?
Good to see you, Grizzly. Stock Jocks, good to see you, my man. And Unk, good to see you as well.
Here, I think.
All right, so Arcade One Up. Now, to me, this was a dumb decision. You shout this out, email blast, app blast the crap out of this, and saying, "We heard the community and y'all's feedback. Y'all need you can now hire somebody to build your cabinets for you."
Yeah,
It's
so instead of them like pretty much building them like At Games does, you can hire somebody to do it.
right,
That's
right.
crazy. For more money.
Um, yeah, for more money and get $10 off with the special code and everything. To me, though, half of the fun, honestly, is when I buy it, say an Arcade One Up cabinet. Half of the fun really is building it yourself. To me, that's fun. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like doing that kind of thing, especially when it comes to like IKEA furniture and something like this. Have a need, fill a need, kind of thing. That's where TaskRabbit kind of comes in. Um, Half a dozen. Have you gone to TaskRabbit's website and like done any kind of like research on exactly what all they cover?
I mean, they'll build a lot of stuff from home furniture, couches to whatever, your TV center, your computer desk. So this isn't outside the realm of something they'll do, but it's outside the realm of something most of us will spend money on. But and I hear you on the like. I hear what you're saying. Like you like building them. Me more so. I can't really say I like building arcade one up cabinets, but I will say like after I'm done building it and after the work's put in, there's something rewarding about it. Where I go, yeah, you know what I mean? I built that or I modded that and I put the new marquee in. There's something rewarding about that, but I don't necessarily enjoy it after like the 20 cabinets I built. Like it does get to a point where it's like mundane to me or monotonous after a while, but I would still rather build one than pay Task Rabbit or Ass Hat Rabbits or whoever they are, to do this stuff.
Yeah, and Jason makes a good point. So in my belief is that these are not professionals or anything like that. These are basically people who are kind of like, it's like a service like DoorDash or
Yeah.
Uber or something, right? You got your just random people that sign up and say, "Hey, yeah, I
Mhm.
don't mind building stuff for people, or building their furniture for them." I'm kind of decent at. I'm really good at following instructions.
Well,
I own a screwdriver.
yeah, and the other thing is too, like in our demographic, we're all getting older, right? So I could imagine there's some handicapped people and people who actually need this service. So as much as I want to knock it, there probably is a demographic that could use this service that wants these arcades, you know?
Yeah, like in the case of say like Mr. Encoder in our Discord at our Kids Anonymous, he posted that he bought 12 cabinets at Christmas time for a party he was having. And he said he spent 3 days straight building all 12 of those cabinets.
Right.
Drunk as a skunk too, and he hated every second of it. So
Right. Yeah. Right. Like
and
them
that
people that buy like 4 Fast and the Furious at one time, they might want to hit up TaskRabbit for some extra help, you
yeah.
know.
So the one thing I do appreciate stuff that they do is like I saw that they actually do like hardware stuff like plumbing and they'll help you so you get somebody to help you with floor tile and stuff like that. So I like TaskRabbit as a thing. You know, it's a handyman kind of company, right?
Yeah.
I I I don't see the need in hiring somebody and paying them a premium to build IKEA furniture for me. Something that comes with instructions. It's clearly see, you know, you don't have to do any kind of drilling. It's put a wood dowel here, put this wood piece to this wood piece, screw it in. That's it. You know,
Yeah, that's why I said like the only sense I can make out of this is like if there's people that's handicapped or you know you never know. So there probably is a group of people that could use this service, but it's probably not for us.
yeah. And heaven forbid if you get somebody that just does it wrong or just does it too fast or something like that, just does something really screwy
Right,
that just
right.
don't know what they're doing.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sure we've all had issues building these, so I can imagine TaskRabbit's going to run into some issues, you know.
So in the case of that, like I stripped like 4 screws when I was building my Ridge Racer when I first got it because I was putting the cabinet screws, the side panel screws,
The
in,
B
in
screws,
into the riser,
yeah, that's all
and
bad.
they are different size, you know, different length or whatever. Or no, I was putting riser screws into the cabinet side panel, and it would not go in all the way. So I was stripping the crap out of them. Thank God it came with 2 extras. So
Yeah, this is unexciting news for market. They want to, you got all this exciting news coming from at games and different places, and they're hitting us with TaskRabbit
yeah,
in almost May. It's about to be May, so they really need to turn up soon.
yeah, and do not do PR stunts such as we heard the community's cries for something, you know, for something. This is
Yeah,
it. This is our announcement. This is what the community wanted. No, this is what your new customers would like to have, maybe.
yeah, it's a
But
partnership. That's all it is. It's not
yeah,
what we cried for sure.
yeah. So I don't know, man. Real quick though, we're gonna move on to at games real quick. And this is where you got your Star Trek pinball pack has been released, a 3 pack. What is it? Discovery, Deep Space Nine, and what's the timeline?
Mm,
I
I'm not a
forget.
Star Trek fan.
There you go. Somebody in chat help me. What's the name? It starts with a
Deep
K.
Space Nine. I don't know. Starts with a K.
Yeah, it starts with a K. It's like Kelvin or something. I forget it.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, it's probably yeah, that Kelvin one. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, we cried for Robotron. That hasn't happened yet. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff that we cried for. It just ain't happening yet. Yeah, the Kelvin timeline. So I was right. Good. Thank you. I don't feel like a total idiot or blank space when it comes to thinking about name of the pinball table. Um, so I've been seeing on Facebook the Facebook groups and seeing some videos and everything. Saw P Dubs shorts. The tables actually look pretty good.
Yeah,
That's not my thing. Kind of like you, it's not my thing, but it actually looks like fun though.
yeah, I'm gonna buy them. I'm gonna play them. I might actually really enjoy them, but it might. Who knows? Some of these tables have actually got me into whatever they were about afterwards. So maybe they can make me enjoy some of the films and series more. But I don't dislike, like, I watched the Star Trek movies and stuff. I didn't dislike them. They just weren't really my thing, but I pretty much buy all the Zen tables and Williams stuff. I plan to, so I know this isn't the Williams pack, but they do got the Star Trek Williams pack, so I'm gonna pick that up too. So yeah, I'm kind of a completionist, so I'll probably buy them all.
Yes.
It's cool to know this is out, and it's got some cool DMD games in it too, or DMD features in it too.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great that the next generation is going to be released on April 30th for you guys who have the Star Trek pinball machine. For everybody else, I believe it's like May 18th, 17th, something like that, if I'm not wrong. But that's the timeline anyway. But that's the table I'm interested in. That's the Williams table, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
from what I heard, like you said, everybody they say they play pretty good too. So there's a little bit of flipper lag, but it's way better than Adam's
So
Family when that first dropped.
so same as what they're saying about our attack from Mars is
Yeah,
it is noticeable, but it's not nearly as bad as the Addams Family.
yeah. So
So good, good,
I'm
good
really
stuff.
hoping over the summer they can just fix that and we could just enjoy all these packs and give them a bunch of money.
Yeah, for real. So
So
guys, and for you guys that were curious, I know half a dozen. When is your 4KP coming?
uh I'll probably have it. I'm assuming by Friday, Well, Friday's when I'll have a chance to actually build it. So Thursday night is what they said.
And if for guys that are curious, mine's apparently coming Tuesday. So
Yeah. So next
so
week's gonna be the week for us.
yeah,
This week technically is Sunday.
yeah. Next Sunday on here on Yo Retro, y'all gonna see us bouncing off the walls, man. We're just gonna be so freaking stoked, and we're not gonna
Yeah,
rush. We're not gonna rush off the stream or anything. We're gonna do our show and everything, and take our time and spend time with the community and everything. But as soon as that show is over, man, we're gonna be hitting our pinball machines back up.
yeah. Odds are it'll be a first impressions kind of show, where
Oh
we
yeah,
could
for sure.
just sit back and actually talk because we own them now.
Mike Hawks is asking, is the Act Game servers working again? As far as I know, they sent out what 2 Facebook blasts saying that step one's done, step two is done. So like they got the servers back online, and some of the missing packs that you could download or update or whatever, those finally came back up. So as far as I know, those 2 are done. Marine 50 says mine hasn't shipped yet due to an issue paying for pre-installed SSF. Hope it'll be fixed tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. I think I saw your post on Facebook, man, your comments and stuff. I, it sucks because like I paid for my machine, what was it? Monday, and then had to wait all the way to Tuesday morning to get the SSF kit email. So I hate that you didn't get yours, man.
Yeah, it was such a long wait. It was like a week wait almost, just to get the shipping numbers.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, bro. That's why I told you weeks ago I wasn't trying to overget my hopes up about any time frame. Whenever it arrived and when I got the times when I build it, you know. But I am excited to get it. But it still seems like a little bit out of reach. Like it's like that's why I said when I get here, that's when I'll be excited about it again almost.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Uh Next thing real quick was this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. The A lot of people were wanting to pay with PayPal or Venmo. when it came to actually paying for these things. And apparently they do like maintenance, server maintenance and stuff like that, like yearly maintenance on their payment systems, you know. And apparently during the process of we're supposed to be paying for a 4K your Attack from Mars 4KP,
During that 72-hour window.
during that 72-hour window, they're doing maintenance on their PayPal and Venmos. So a lot of people were asking, like, hey, I want to pay by PayPal, and it's not giving me the option to do that. I thought y'all could do that. And they're like, yeah, you can do that. Put in a ticket. And they're like, well, you're telling me I got 72 hours, and it's taking y'all more than 72 hours for y'all to even answer support tickets. So am I going to lose my place in line? And then they responded back saying, hey, guys, you're not going to
Lose your
lose your
spot.
place in line for the original 72 hours as an option. We apologize for the inconvenience. Appreciate your patience. Thank you for being a valued member of the Atkins family. When the system comes back up, we'll send you an email and get your payment system in. So I don't know, man. I feel like some of that, like a lot of the community's problems with it, I think that has a lot to do with some of these people not getting their emails for certain things. That they just shut that whole system down, or it screwed it up, man.
Yeah, I think everything went haywire, like I said, with this whole launch of Attack from Mars, because I ordered mine before you, a couple days before you, and yours was shipping, before me. You had your shipping numbers, and I'm going, I pulled the trigger 2 days before this, dude. I'm not mad. I'm happy for you, but I'm going on my end. What's up, Ad Games?
Yeah,
Where's my, and then I had to email them like, where's my shipping number? And then bam, I got my shipping number for the back box or for the playfield. But that shipped like almost a day and a half later, which it is what it is, but it just doesn't make sense, bro. They're shipping from the same spot. They know I need both parts, and they send one part out a day earlier than the other. So now I gotta wait, whatever, maybe a day later to get the other part. It's just crazy.
so let me ask you this, and this is just me just bullshitting with you basically. Um, you pre-ordered yours days before me. Um, mine's obviously coming before yours. Does the collector's plate number matter to you?
Nah, because I already realized, like I realized when I bought a KI Pro that number didn't mean anything,
Yeah,
because there's no way I bought number 343 of KI Pro and they haven't sold 500 of those by now. Like in the year I've had it, like it just I don't know. Like I think they just pick whatever box is there and they ship it, and they have no clue what those numbers are when they start shipping them.
just slap our label on a random box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have no way to identify that by order number. I don't believe so. So nah, that really doesn't. I'd like to get a number I like, on it, but odds are I won't. So
Yeah. And real quick, Marine 50, I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning of the show when I mentioned it. I submitted a ticket to At Games saying, hey, the SSF kit the price that y'all told us it was ain't what I got charged for. It should have been like in your case, $100,
yeah,
$150 less.
we all got
So
overcharged.
yeah, we all got overcharged. So what they told me is that, hey, just send me a screenshot of your order number and how much you overpaid, and we'll take care of it from there. So I did that Friday. I should hear something back from tomorrow, I hope. So hopefully, if you want to, man, make sure you submit a ticket and submit proof that what you really paid, and they should take care of you like they took care of me.
Yeah, I submitted a ticket too. I haven't heard back from them, but I waited till I had my shipping numbers before I did because I didn't want nothing to delay the process of me getting my 4KP.
What's up, Galaxy Guy? Good to see you, my man. How was your vacation? I hope it was pretty good, man. That Airbnb house looks dope.
Yeah.
I ordered items for the first 4 National Owners Days, and when 4 orders in a row got botched, one way or another, I decided to slow my roll. Yeah. So yeah, I'm finding out as a brand new Act Games, owner and stuff like that. It's man, they do a lot of weird things when it comes to customer service.
Yeah, yeah, and like we see them making these little incremental changes, but like even I was thinking like, okay, so the people that are supposed to get to buy now or pay now, whatever, buy now, we deliver now type thing they're moving to. It's like I'm just like I don't know if they can pull that off because I bought in December and I'm still waiting. So
Yeah.
okay, if they say they got it, but I guess you know if it's on, and that's the other thing, if they have supplies on their website, you'll be able to purchase it apparently, or at their warehouse you'll be able to purchase it. But if it says sold out, they got no supplies apparently. That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
and I checked as soon as I saw that on Facebook and I saw that in my email. I checked just to see what kind of stock they have running, and it turns out the only ones that have stock in at all, either way, either the standard edition or the one with the SSF kit pre-installed, is the Adams Family. That's it. Dino
Yeah,
Dynasty, Peanuts,
Attack from Mars
Attack from
gone.
Mars, and Star Trek sold out. Can't get them. I don't know
Yeah,
if they're going to release stock later, maybe, but
they have to because they said they're doing 5,000 on all these cabs. They just don't
they
have
ain't going to just
the
stop
support.
making them.
Yeah, they just don't have the supplies in right now to ship out. They're probably going to do little bulk orders. When they have 1,000 of them, they'll re-release it on the website. They're not going to do it one by one. So
Yeah. Um. Anybody in here? Anybody in here? Rocket League fans like me, MG. I got Gamer Fridge into it.
hold on,
Um.
hold on. Anybody in here X-Men fans?
There you go. X-Men 97 fans, as well as Rocket League. Two great, a collaboration right here, man. And this is
Yeah, and
like
like you were talking about, that X-Men 97, the arcade one up, it gave you some retro vibes, and I was hesitant at the time because the series hadn't came out, but I could tell you what, that series is so good, bro. It's
yeah,
one of the best things that's ever happened to Disney Plus, that's ever happened to just like middle-aged men like us, bro, to have a cartoon you grew up watching every Saturday morning stop 25 years ago almost randomly and then just pick up where it left off, and the same voice actors come back and the animation's just 4K now. And bro, that series is so good. So yeah, I'm eating up all this X-Men 97 stuff coming out right now, and it's cool to see him in Rocket League, right?
yeah. I watched 2 episodes of the new season, I liked it so far. I just hadn't been able to get into it yet because Fallout just came out, and I watched all eight episodes of the series so
Mhm.
far on Amazon. Great show, man. And I was never really into the games, but watching that show and the Fallout show made me want to get into that game. So I'm definitely going to probably pick up this season pass thing for the Rocket League X-Men because the cars look dope, especially if they're cell shaded like that.
Yeah, I got a little trivia question for the chat. Type in the chat if you know what Rocket League, because Rocket League's pretty retro at this point. If you Do you remember what Rocket League was originally, the original Rocket League, what it was called when it was released on PlayStation, PSN? Do you remember? It wasn't called Rocket League.
Nope.
What was the real name? The old school name of this game,
And
if
it's
you
kind of a
remember.
long name, right?
Yeah, it's a real ridiculous. That's why they shortened it to Rocket League, because it was pretty obnoxious name.
Cars playing soccer. Close,
Nope.
stock jock.
You're close though. It is pretty obnoxious. There you go. Little
Hey,
alien though.
yeah, there it is. Supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars.
Yeah, that was it, bro. I remember because it was like an early PSN game, and I used to play it. Yep, there goes Unc. Unc knew it. Unc used to
There you go.
play it back in the day.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, so anybody that's been to Rocket League or you haven't been on Rocket League in a while, I like to play all the time. So you can send me a message on Xbox or Discord or whatever and say, "Hey man, do you want to play?" I'm glad to play anytime. So just hit me up. So good stuff. But
It's the year of the mutants, man. The mutants about to make major waves in the MCU. You know, it's about to be crazy for the X-Men. Deadpool.
speaking of retro, anybody remember this guy?
Oh yeah. Happy
Is it
35th.
really 35 years since the Game Boy came out?
35 years ago, bro. Y'all want to feel old.
I feel old, dude. I feel super old.
Yeah, 35 years. I remember like this was a big deal, bro. Like all the kids was, you know, the kids that had bread was getting them on Christmas. All the broke kids was getting Tiger Electronics, you know. I had a lot of Tiger systems.
I remember getting this. It took, I think, 2 years before I actually could get my mom to get me one of these, but man, I remember the 4 AA batteries. They would not last very long.
No,
The no backlit screen.
that
You had
green screen was
that
terrible.
you had to get the magnifying glass and the one that had the light. It had the light and
Yeah,
the magnifying glass in order for you to actually enjoy it.
the bifocal lens.
Yeah. Oh man. Um
35 years though. That's a trip, right?
yeah, it's I still cannot believe it's been 35 years, but oh man.
Yeah,
Such good memories though.
that's when it released in Japan. I think it hit the US like
Like,
less than a year later.
yeah, yeah, like 9 months later.
Mm.
Um like so many good memories.
Yeah, I
Uh
mean it had great games though. Like that introduced us to
yeah.
to Tetris, you know, the Western world to Tetris, you know.
Yeah, so many good games. Tetris was the box in game, and then the
Hmm.
first Mario Brothers was meh, but the second one, the 6 golden coins,
Yeah, that was a good one.
was dope. And then you had the Castlevania games. Even Killer Instinct was great on the Game Boy.
Yeah, they had a Donkey Kong game that was good on there.
Yeah, yeah. Mario versus Donkey Kong was on there as well, and or was that?
I
That may
think it
Game
was
Boy.
just
That was Game
called
Boy Color.
I think it was just called Donkey Kong. Or no. Yeah, I think it was just called Donkey Kong, but you played Mario and it was like a side
Yeah,
scroller
yeah. That's it.
platformer.
That's it. You're right. You're right. You're right.
It was like the reintroduction of Donkey Kong right after Donkey Kong Country had blown up, you know.
Yeah. So a lot of people, man, they said, "No, I don't want no Game Boy. I want the Game Gear
Mm,
or the
yeah,
Atari Lynx,"
all
which
that all that stuff was out of my price range at that age. You know?
good news is in this day and age of emulation, you can go back and play a bunch of these titles in the way that in a bunch of these games you never got a chance to play.
Yeah, and we gonna talk about that later. You know, you can play a lot of these titles right now.
Yeah. So who's in the emulation news right now? That's
You
gonna be this
know,
guy right here, the Delta emulator. And what's so special about the Delta emulator is it's exclusively for Apple. Apple has always been anti emulation. Like
hmm
you couldn't download any front ends, you couldn't download any emulators. There's no way to be able to really do emulation on an Apple device without hacking the daggum thing. Now Apple has turned over a new leaf and they laxed all their laws and all their regulations and says, "Hey, go ahead, man. Like download it from the App Store. It's on the App Store now." And what happened overnight basically is the Delta emulator became the number one downloaded app in the App Store on Apple devices.
Yeah, you go right in the App Store and download this right now, and basically take the ROMs you own. And there's really honestly like there's tutorials on it, but it's as simple as downloading the app, hitting the plus sign in the corner, and importing your apps, and then it puts them in folders for each. Uh, you know, whether you're playing Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games, and 64 games, it'll organize them for you. and it'll actually bring up the virtual controller and all that on screen for you.
Yeah.
Or you could Bluetooth and use your PS5 controller, PS4 controller, Xbox controller. So
And if anybody's interested in doing emulation with the Apple device and downloading the Delta emulator, and you have no idea what you're doing, go visit. It's called Retro Game Corpse on YouTube. He has like a 30-minute uh, tutorial video on how to download your ROMs, where to put them, and how to get it directly to talk to the Delta emulator. And he's really good, really awesome. Here, I'm about to show some video of him doing it. Just give me just a second. Boom, there it is. Got it on mute, perfect. And then present, share screen. Boom. And come on. Add stage. So yeah, this is the video I was talking about, guys. Retro Game Corps. He does the entire step-by-step process. If there's a couple of settings that he doesn't like, he changes them and shows you how to change them and everything. Makes everything run perfect. Mike Hawk Hurt says, I suggest downloading the app for all your iOS devices this week while it's still available. Hopefully it'll stay up. But Nintendo is in active negotiations to have the app removed.
yeah, that's
something that I want to discuss tonight. Basically is like Nintendo took down the Switch emulator, right? Like threatened to take them to court and everything like that. The Yuzo emulator, Switch emulator, gone. Like you cannot get that unless you know of a website that's got it, right? So
yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up too. Yeah, like a lot of good apps just disappear off the iOS store. So you need to go download this immediately. If you're into retro gaming, because even if you don't use it now, you might want to use it later. Whether you have an iPad or whatever Apple device. But yeah, it's actually killer, bro. Like you can see like if they bring up like Game and Watch games, it looks like almost Game and Watch style. If they bring up SNES games, it looks SNES style. It's not one-to-one accurate, the controller or whatever on your on-screen device because obviously legal reasons, but they, they got pretty close, bro. But I will say this, I would suggest using a Bluetooth controller, just because the on-screen, using that for analog and stuff on certain games isn't really as good as you'd like it to be. That's why I don't play a lot of mobile games because there's only so much accuracy you can have with the D-pad or with the analog stick.
yeah.
But it's still fun. I was popping this open at work and playing a little bit on Mario Kart and stuff.
Yeah. And I'm an Android user, so I don't have any Apple products. My wife, she has a Apple product, so I could totally get her, try it out on hers if I wanted to. But on Android, we got Launchbox front end that can just install any emulator, and we can easily just cloud surf ROM files, save them to your Google Cloud, and import them over. It's so wide open, right? And Apple has the way they want to do things. Now they allowed you to download this emulator and made it very simple to just get a Google Drive and connect it to your Google Drive and actually be able to download these apps or to download these ROMs to the system and everything. So it's really cool that Apple's done this, but how
Yeah.
long before Nintendo does a stop, was it stop and desist? What do we call it?
Cease and desist order.
Cease and desist, yes.
They might put in a cease and desist order, but we'll see. That's why like it's highly recommended to download this now if you got an Apple device, because everyone's got there's one game in the Super Nintendo library you like, I guarantee it, or one game in the Game Boy library, Game Boy Advance library. This plays DS games. It's it's got pretty much a full Nintendo library emulation uh, compatibility, which is cool.
And Galaga Guy, you bring up a really good point, and that's really the argument for emulation and the problem with what Nintendo's doing. Like this gives you the ability to play the entire library, the Nintendo library, Super Nintendo library, as well as Nintendo 64. Um, yes, Nintendo has its own online service where you can play hundreds of games, but not the entire library.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, I really wish these companies like there's a big thing that happened in the music industry not too long ago where after like 10 years artists can they can basically like re-record their old albums and re-release them, and get all their rights back and stuff like that. Like all the rights revert back to the artist after so long, so it'd be nice to see like or even like it go public domain after a while. Like I can understand like big licenses that are still active, Pokemon, Mario, certain ones like that. But with gaming historians, and people like us that are retro gamers, like we wanna preserve these games. That's why we go through such lengths to make sure the emulation runs properly, or to make sure that the box art looks good, and because we want to preserve history in a way. That's really why we want these games and want to be able to play them,
Yeah,
show our kids, show our grandkids, what we grew up on. Because for a fact, Nintendo and these bigger companies, they're not preserving the smaller games. They're preserving their legacy titles, but they don't give a damn about the smaller games that we went to Blockbuster and rented it on the weekend and we fell in love with. And we knew they weren't great games, but we had a great weekend that summer and they mean something to us because of that.
yeah,
So, and a lot of those are the games that I download, believe it or not, on when I get these emulators, are titles I own that they're not always the bigger hitters, that most people would expect.
yeah. And so like these corporations like Nintendo don't understand. Like, yes, there is people out there that's going to pirate games and they're going to steal, but that's not the real reason why emulation exists. Emulation exists, like you said, to preserve.
Yeah,
When you don't have physical copies and there's no way to download or purchase a digital copy, we had to rely on having
we had to rely on the emulation world,
we had to
bro.
rely on emulation, man, and be able to preserve these the best we could. So that's why it exists. Like, how you
I
gonna?
think I think in 100 years they'll look back and there'll be documentaries, and there'll be like historians that'll like praise the emulation world for documenting history when the gaming industry refused to, or they would shy away from some of their lesser known titles, or worse, or bad games. Even we preserve the bad games even. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So now what's going to end up happening though is that now that you got Delta out there, it's the number one app store. There's going to be other people that's going to follow suit, and it's already really happened. It's coming soon.
yeah.
Was it Providence?
Provenance, yeah, Provenance,
EMU.
yeah. And they're gonna have emulation outside of just the big end. They're gonna have the emulation. Sega, SNK. So
And
and,
Sony PlayStation,
yeah, NEC. So you're gonna have some of that
Sega.
Turbo Graphics flavor, some of that Atari flavor, some of that Genesis flavor. So, and that's coming to Apple soon. So it seems like the floodgates might be open for emulation on Apple devices right now.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, the only way that Nintendo is going to stop this, or at least slow it down, is if they try and not go after these individual emulators, these software developers, they're going to have to talk to Apple and say, no, you need to put that restriction back on. You need to tighten up on it again. And then
Uh,
Apple's going to say, no, it's our platform.
well, the thing is, it really comes down to courts and lawyers, and legalities. But at the end of the day, like a lot of times, these judges find that, like, that we still we really do have rights to having. If you own these titles, if you bought this title, we really should have a digital backup copy on a lot of these, especially in this day and age. A lot of them will tend to side with the gaming historians and people like that because you know they realize that a lot of these bigger corporations are just in it for the microtransactions at this point. So
Yeah.
I really feel we're on the right side. The emulation people are really on the right side of this battle.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like, it's about preservation, and that's what it's all about, honestly. And until like a company like Nintendo takes their online catalog and completely opens it up to where everything's available, we
But
really can't say anything.
here's another thing though. It also opens the door to, like, here's an argument I've always kind of brought up to my friends, even since a teenager. Like, how many times am I expected from Nintendo to buy Super Mario Brothers?
Yes,
How
yes,
many times do I have to pay them for this game? I've already paid them 20 times for this game. You know, like, it almost should be in the realm of, like, you know how Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it's almost like any movie theater, any movie company can make a movie about that. It's not owned by
hmm
Universal, so it almost should be, in that public realm. Public domain is what they call it. So I feel like, and I get that they own Super Mario Brothers, but how many times for real do I have to pay them for the same game, before I could just own my digital copy in the cloud and play it on whatever device I choose? They
right.
shouldn't be able to dictate which device I get to play my game on.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they call it if they bring out a new system and say, "Hey, we're going to remaster this game and bring it out for this." This is the exact same game, just remastered, upres basically. Or they'll be like, "Oh, well, we added like 6 new levels, or we added a
Yeah.
harder mode to it. We
But
added online."
there's a little argument there. Like, okay, if it's the new Super Mario Brothers and you changed all the graphical elements, you had a whole new team come in and work on it. That's one thing. But if I'm playing the original Super Mario Brothers ROM that I've owned since a kid, I owned as a teen, I owned as an adult, you know what I mean? I went back and I bought a copy of at one of these gaming conventions. How many times do I have to pay them for that game before I could just play it on my Apple device because I bought it 5 times, 6 times? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, if I bought a game, I should be able to play it anywhere, any way I want to play it. Yeah,
Right.
hands down.
They
You
should.
bought the license basically.
I mean, that's like a dictatorship if you're telling me what device I could play my games on. Like, I get it to a certain point when it's a new IP, it's an IP they own, like Sony owns God of War. Okay, I get it. But once it's like the same game I bought, especially with like a Pac-Man or a Mario, like I bought them games so many times it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, really, honestly. But
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes, man. We'll see where this story goes. Um, is Apple going to comply if Nintendo says, "Hey, stop," or is they gonna be like, "Hey, you going to take us to court for it? You want to put your $1 billion against our, hundreds of billions of dollars?" You know, how far is this situation going to go, and how is the story going to unfold? Is it going to finally go to the way of the gamers, or is these companies, these software companies that says, "Hey, it's our title, you never truly own it," is it going to go in that direction? Is it going to stay in that direction?
I mean, I don't know that it can because you know, it's one thing if they were advertising this app with Super Mario Brothers on the download page on Apple, but they're not. They got some generic games pictured on there. It's really up to the user what ROMs they're throwing in this emulator. So it's a real gray area, and I don't know that they'll be able to get them to take it down.
And you know what? There's another argument, and I'm going to say the YouTuber's name, RGT85, made a valid point. Emulation is a good way for homebrew games that work on, games that people, Mike from down the street made a game called Carpet Simulator, Carpet Shark, or whatever you want to call it. And he put it out there. It works. He made a chip so that it works on original NES hardware, but he put the download ROM out for people to be able to play it. And
Mhm.
that these emulators is a chance to do that. All right. So that's a brand new game that's been released for the original Nintendo. It's never been available. And this guy created a game, put it out there for people to play, and he says, "Hey guys, if y'all really like it, you can actually play this on a real Nintendo system. Here, buy the cart, $50, support me.
Yeah,
I took my time. I love retro gaming. I love this community. I created this game for y'all, support it, and that's
yeah. It
another
opens
reason
the
why.
door for a lot of cool, like crowd-funded homebrew games.
Yeah, and that's another reason why emulation exists. If you try to police that and take it away, then we cannot get cool stuff like that
Yeah,
coming out, man. Like it's really neat what a lot of people have done, and I've bought some games that were created for old school systems. Like dang it, man, what's that game called? It's a shooting game. It's kind of like Smash TV. Crap. I love the soundtrack to it too. It's by Bit Bureau. Uh Sorry, I'm trying to just give you
I don't
examples.
know that one, dog. But yeah,
Bitmap Bureau. Okay. Xeno Crisis.
okay.
Um Hell, I'll pop that up for you guys in case y'all don't know what that is. Xeno Crisis was created, and on their website, here, I'll show you real quick. Share screen.
Sound like some alien stuff.
It is, and it really is. This game right here, it's one of my favorite games, Xeno Crisis. All right, this is running on Nintendo 64 hardware, but it's basically like Smash TV, where you take the joystick, or in this case, face buttons, and point it in different directions and shoot.
Mhm.
Right? Very popular game, but it's made by like a small studio, small indie studio. They made cartridges for NES. Sorry, not NES. They made cartridges for Sega Genesis, Neo Geo, Nintendo 64, um, Sega CD. I think is another one. No, Dreamcast. Sorry, Dreamcast is another one that they're working on. So they created this game for you to be able to buy it on physical cartridge, or just download the ROM and play it on an emulator of whatever system you want to play it on. And they all sound different. They use the actual physical chips or music sound chips and stuff like that from whatever system. So all the games sound different. The cutscenes are colored different. Some of them are voiced, some of them are not. And in this case, this is the Nintendo 64 version. So they all look different. So you got these indie developers that are creating games like this. Emulator or physical is the only way you're going to be able to get this.
Yeah, yeah, and it's cool. Like the fact that there's people still creating new content on this old architecture. So yeah, it's definitely something they should do less policing of. They should worry more about the direction they're moving in and less about what these people are doing with old architecture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that, I mean, like I said, man, that's just an example, but there's hundreds of homebrew indie developer games that are
Oh yeah,
producing games for these old systems like that.
tons of them. You got all them like rival turf games with the turtles in them, or different, all types of different games. So it's really cool.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, have you seen the announcement of a new game coming out?
I have not.
So 4 days ago, Nintendo released this trailer for Indie World, and now I'm going to show that to you, and especially in people in the chat, man. Like Ninja Turtles is going crazy right now. You got 2 games coming out in the next like month.
And a Last Ronin movie coming out soon, which is going to be fire. Or rated R Last Ronin movie is what they're talking about, like live action. Could be crazy.
Yeah. So this is called Splintered Fate. All right. And for any of you people that like roguelikes or dungeon crawling or something like that, it's very similar to say like Diablo series, where you got power-ups for the 4 turtles. You can play 4-player co-op, and it has like these RPG elements and stuff like that for all these big bosses.
And it looks like the old X-Men Legends series, or
Yeah, it's
like
very similar to that, honestly. They say every time you boot it up to play it, if you go to the exact same level or same dungeon or whatever, it's going to be completely different every time. So that's coming out in a couple months.
yeah,
And
that's
we already
cool.
have the Ninja Turtle arcade game from Raw Thrills coming out this month.
Yeah, yeah, that old school arcade. Well, kind of semi-retro arcade game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the Cowabunga collection though. That's old.
No, it's the other one. It's what's it called? I was hoping it would be here. Not Shredder's Revenge. It's the arcade one, Mutant Mayhem, I believe is what it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, we showed it off before.
Yeah. And that comes out in what, 2 days now?
Wrath of the Mutants. Is that it?
Yeah, Wrath of the Mutants. That's it. Yeah, this comes out in 2 days. So that's what I'm talking about, man. It's like you got all this cool stuff coming out, all this retro stuff. It's perfect time
They,
to be a retro gamer, man.
they know it. That's why they keep putting this stuff out. They know it's hot right now. They know where they're getting their $300 from per cab, $1,000 per virtual pinball. They know that's they know where they're getting their money from. So
Yeah.
we had
So
one more thing to show our viewers tonight, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's gonna be right here, the community spotlight. So anybody that y'all 4KP users, hit this guy up on Facebook, and it's no cost. Like he's gonna send you the 3D model printing files. So if you can find somebody that'll 3D print it for you, or if you got a 3D printer, it's these cool little side guards that will protect the art. Much like
Yeah,
arcade one ups, they had a big plastic circle like sticker around the buttons so that your hands where they're resting will not rub that art and rub the paint off your art and stuff like that and make it fade and scratched up and all that kind of stuff. This just a little 3D gadget, man, that this guy came up with. He's like, hey man, I just wanted to theme it out for Adam's Family, Star Trek, Peanuts. Anybody that wants an Attack from Mars, I can set it up and send you the 3D print files, and then
yeah.
you just print it off yourself. Don't sell it. It's my design. Do not sell it. I don't want any money for this. That was his only uh I guess
Stipulation.
stipulation. Yeah, stipulation.
Yeah, this is a dope little thing. Unc actually has a 3D printer, so I'm hoping next time I go to his house, I actually got the link for this in my description for the STL file. You can just click that link and download it if you got a 3D printer, and if you got the Adams Family 4KP. This is pretty cool, man. I think it adds to the aesthetic. It fits the vibes. You know what I mean? And I think it's one of the cooler. We've shown off a lot of home arcade 3/4 scale mods and stuff like that, but we haven't really This is our first 3D printable community spotlight we've shown off, and I think it's a cool addition to the community. Stuff like this, and the fact that he's not charging.
Yeah,
He could have charged a couple bucks for the download.
or he
the
could have
file.
opened his own Etsy store and be like, "Hey, man, these are
Yeah,
$25."
yeah.
People
He
want
could.
'em,
Yeah,
hands down.
all day long. But he just threw it out there for free because some people in this community just like that.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Jason. Jason put in a link for you to download STF direct link. So your uncle, he has a 3D printer.
Yeah, he's got a 3D printer. Yeah,
Oh,
he prints up
cool.
like little masks and stuff. He's been doing. He's been practicing on different things. I kind of like, even if you see in the picture, he's got the black one he's holding. I kind of like the purple looking one that matches the font on the side of the cab. Like I'd like to see Unc try it with a different kind of
Yeah, the
material.
filament.
Yeah, different filament. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so yeah, if y'all do end up like experimenting and testing out, let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you double side sticky these or how exactly, or maybe the buttons screw out and then you screw them in over the buttons. I don't know.
It it looks like you take the buttons out and place it there, and then put the buttons back on top of it, and it stays.
Yeah, I assume that's how it worked, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anybody actually using them yet.
no. So I mean, guys, it's not a cab. It's not a mod to the point where this guy's like redressing the entire cab or anything like that. Um, as Unc says, he says, "Yeah, I can set it up." Um,
He's gonna give it a shot. That's cool.
so yeah, it's held up by spit and prayers, duct tape.
Spitting prayers. That's how I hold up all my relationships.
Yeah. So, like I said, guys, it's not like a big arcade one up swapping it into like a giant, huge cab or a dream cab or anything like that. It's something small, but it's built from somebody in the community who wants no glory from it, just wants to help out the community and create something cool.
Yeah, shout out to Adam for that, man. Shout out to you.
Yeah. He says if you look at the picture, you can see the green of the vinyl, so I think it fits over the button. So yeah, he's got some kind of sticky then.
Well, that almost looks like a render pic, the bottom one. I don't think that's an actual photo because, like I noted, it's a different color than the actual one he's holding. I think that was like a rendered shot he made, just kind of show
Just
you
to
where it
show
goes.
you where it goes.
Yeah, I don't think that's a real photo of
Like
the
the purple.
actual
You don't
item
think
on
that
it.
one you don't think
Because
that purple's real. Yeah.
you could even see the texture on the printed one. You
Yeah.
don't see no texture on that purple one. It almost is just like
Just
what
shows
I
you
think that.
where it goes.
Yeah, I think that's when he was kind of coming up with the design or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I assume it probably sits under the buttons, but I could be wrong. I hope not double-sided sticky tape, scotch tape, greasy
Yeah.
fingers, Cheeto fingers.
There's a lot of people that be like, "Yeah, that's my design. Here, $60." Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody tries selling these on Etsy or eBay,
Yeah.
but we're putting it out there. These is made by Adam B. And we got the link in the description and all that. So go
Yeah.
download you a set, print them up if you got the Adams family. I'm looking forward to seeing if he does something for Attack from Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to picture in my head what would you design it? Would you
You could
put like
have
a
a UFO on the
UFO
side.
saucer?
Yeah, put a little UFO on the side. I think that'd be fire. And or you could probably go with some kind of cool design, aesthetic, whatever. But whatever
Yeah.
he makes, if he makes one, you know, I'll pay Unc for the filament or whatever, and I'll send you something too.
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be
Yeah,
dope. I mean, I would totally give Adam the credit too, and just be like, "Hey, thank you for designing this." You
yeah,
know.
100.
So yeah, Unc needs.
Yeah, they look cool. I mean, it don't take away from the cab. That adds to it. Looks cool. And for Unc, it's pretty much, All he's got to do is buy the filament, or he's got it laying around. Give it a go.
Yeah, Marine 50. If anybody tries to sell this, the whole community should call them out. Absolutely, man.
Facts. I like that.
Yeah, they really should. Be like, yeah, that's not your design. Swap out that game's PCB with an iPad and play Delta emulator. Yeah,
Yo,
OTG mode, man. You could do that. Oh man. Real quick, guys. Anybody that needs a home for a Discord, please join the Arcades Anonymous Discord. It's where me and half a dozen met. It's where a bunch of the people in the community are a part of right now. And it's the kind of thing like our community spotlight. Um, People that are really nice in the community just want to create stuff for other people to help them out. That's the kind of place we run in Arcades Anonymous, man. Everybody gets along really well together, and everybody's just there to help each other out, whether it's you know help modding a cab or showing off their game room, finding people to play with, and just swapping ideas with each other. It's a great place to be. Also check out Arcades Anonymous meetings every Wednesday night on YouTube, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You got me, Chaotic BPR, Nerd Lounge Master 84, Galaga Guy 88, Gamer Fridge, G.I. Joel, Multicade Matt. We all get together and we have a show every Wednesday night. So make sure if you're not subscribed to that channel, please subscribe to Arcades Anonymous. Help that channel get up to 500. Help this channel and help half dozen get to 500 as well, man. If y'all are not subscribed to our channels and you've been hanging out, chilling out with us, throw half a dozen a sub and me as well, man. Get us to 500. We want to be able to be able to get like super chats and help out, just shout out the community and stuff like that. And I know
Yeah,
a lot of people like to show out appreciation for live streams, and that's one way you can do that, man. You just have to get us to 500 first.
yeah. If you're gonna throw me a sub, I'll take a Philly cheesesteak. Everything on it. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. If y'all like Jersey Mike's, send me a big Kaluta chicken, which is
Thank you.
basically a chicken Philly. I'll take
And
that one.
that's the price of watching.
Yeah, and maybe even send a like on this live stream as well as previous live streams, especially if you're just catching us on a replay. Hit us up, send us a like, man. It really helps out the channel, honestly, man. It helps other people find us, like-minded people, man.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, what he said. So I hope y'all don't mind. I wore my bling today. I had to go Yo Retro style.
Yeah, I dig it, man. Got the new wave on.
Yes, sir. But man, you got anything else you want to share with the community tonight?
Nah, I'm just looking forward to getting this Attack from Mars this week. So hopefully on the next show we'll be able to we'll probably just do, unless there's a bunch of news, but we might just do an open forum chat and talk with y'all about our first impressions on these cabs.
Yeah. Real quick, that's a custom made hat, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that done at?
They could buy them on my I got a merch link too. They could buy them on my merch link in the description.
I gotta pick one up. But yeah, I'm actually designing some Yo Retro merch too. I would like to get our logo on a shirt as well as a hat,
Yeah, we got to do that. We've been talking about it. My main thing was just, I wanted to get the show rolling, and solidify that.
Well, me and you got a good partnership. We got a good relationship, man. So we're not going anywhere. And obviously we got a pretty good fan base, man. I love everybody that's here. I love that's hanging out. Everybody that's hanging out. See, Jason says I would like a Yo Retro hoodie. I think that would be dope.
See, that's what I'm saying. It'll get there. We'll get it there. It just, I definitely just wanted to get the show rolling, which we have done and we've kept it rolling. So It'll come. It'll come in time.
See, everybody,
Uh,
everybody's throwing us some love, man. Thank you guys so much.
man, appreciate y'all, man. That's crazy. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for joining us on another episode of Yo Retro. I'm Chaotic BPR with my co-host, Half a Dozen.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next weekend. Hopefully we got some more news, but first we also got to be able to show off, you know, how we feel about our new 4KPs that we received, man.
Yeah, it's we've been talking about it since the first show, so it's like it's all leading up to this moment. You watch our intro, it's all leading up to this moment. You know, the intro to outro, it's all been leading up to this.
For sure, man. It's time. So we'll see y'all next weekend on Yo
Retro. Yo.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Yo.